Hapa miakani ya kutoka 1940, 1950, palikuwa na watu walikuwa wanakata miti hapa, wanaweka kwa gari ya ng'ombe, wanaenda hapa karibu na mahali inaitwa Kiamariga, hapo kado kidogo inaitwa Kagati. Hapo ndiko walikuwa wanapeleka hiyo miti. Hiyo miti ilikuwa inachukuliwa hapa, inapelekwa pale Kiganjo. Hapo Kiganjo ilikuwa sasa inachukuliwa na gari ya moshi. Najua umesoma juu ya steam engines. Ile miti ilikuwa inaendesha hiyo mashini, these locomotives. Hiyo mtu alikuwa Mbaruria na alikuwa anaitwa Wamunyoro. Na alikuwa anaishi karibu pale juu pale, hiyo ilikuwa makao yake. Sasa wakati hiyo miakani, siwezi ukasema ati ni mwaka huu, lakini siku moja kukatokea kitu ambacho sio kizuri, akaagukiwa na mti, akagogwa na akakufa. Sasa watu wale ambao walitagulia walikuja baadaye, badala ya kusema hii inaitwa Wamunyoro, wakasema ni Wamunyoro. That's the origin of the word Wamunyoro, nothing else.
Nasikia pride, hata siwezi nikajua ni aje. Juu ukifungulia TV ni Wamunyoro, ukimwona kama jana ni Wamunyoro.
Kutoka atoleo pahali alikuwa deputy president, nisikia baya sana kwa roho yangu. Hata chakula nikikula kidogo, kasikia huna raha. Lakini ni rafiki yangu sana, miaka mingi tukakaa naye akawa akaniambia itatoka hapa niende, nikamtoleka singine pahali, nikaenda kale nakaa huko karibu miaka 10. Kwa hivyo sasa sisi tutafanya hili na miaka. Hata watoto wangu ni wakubwa, ni yeye alisomesha. Maneno mingi sana.
We grew up in this village. It's a small village, but a very interesting village. And our life here revolves around kindness and being nice to each other. And as our parents brought us up, we were families. You could just go to our neighbors here for dinner and just sit like you are in your own home. And in this village, I know everybody by name because there is no home I've not eaten as I was a small boy. And I used to go to school from here 7 kilometers, walking and back. That's about 14 kilometers a day. But this is a village where everybody knows each other, where everybody is close to each other. And therefore, we have grown that way. And we have remained as one big family, as a village. And here in this part of the country, we don't call anybody by name. Our mother, we don't call them by name.
What do you call them by?
The mother of so-and-so, the father of so-and-so. Even in greeting, you can't say, how are you? You'll be able to say, how are you, my mother? How are you, my grandmother? How are you, my father? How are you, my grandfather? That's the way we have lived here. And it's a beautiful place to live in because it's very lovely and there's a lot of kindness and everybody loves each other. And we spent good years when here we were very young, and we have carried those memories up today. Yeah.
And we've had a glimpse of you and your partner, Madam Dorcas. How did you guys meet?
I think we met in a bit of politics. I was chairman of Nyeri University Students Association, and I had taken a delegation to visit then President Daniel Arap Moi. And I was at the University of Nairobi first year, and Pastor Dorcas then was first year at Kenyatta University, and she happened to come into that delegation, and she happened to talk to me, and I said we'll follow up later and we'll look for each other. And then we met a day after, another day. One thing led to another. The rest is history.
Aha, that's really beautiful. And into serious matters, when you were impeached, did you think then, or imagine that Wamunyoro is going to be this place for political rebirth?
Well, you know, when I was removed, I was hounded out of office. The people who hounded out of office were yapping and threatening me that they would take me back to the village. In fact, one of the leaders from Kikuyu constituency who led the impeachment onslaught on behalf of President William Ruto, one day in Parliament called me a villager. And he was right, I'm a villager, because I came from this village. And as they were hounding me out of office, the president, his people, they were all threatening me that they would take me back to the village. And I came back to the village. And what they did not know is that this village called Wamunyoro is the birth of Kenyan politics. And where they sent me back to the village, that village has become a thorn in their flesh. Everybody talks about it in Parliament, talks about Wamunyoro. In all presidential rallies, everybody talks about Wamunyoro. There is a saying among my people that where it is thrown is not where it falls. Little did they know that the Wamunyoro they were sending me to will become their biggest headache in the next so many years. And I was happy to come back home because I come from here. And anybody sending me home really was not a punishment. You know, people thought that telling you are going back, you are sending you home, they are punishing you. How can you be punished by going home?
Yet you're going home.
Home is the best. They say east or west, home is best. I was born here. I grew up here. Coming to Wamunyoro can never be a punishment. You know, if anybody thought he's punishing me by banishing me to the village, they were not punishing me. They were just taking me back to where I tick my natural environment. You know, this is where I really, my thinking, my strategies, my planning is at its best from here. Because this is where I was born, and all my leadership qualities, all the things that I know come from this village. So it's like, I would call it taking the fish into the water.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically that's what it is. You know, they brought me where I'm at my best. And from this village, we are shaking the country because we are at our very best.
Yeah.
And when I came back home, the village embraced me. And they said, our son, welcome back home. We have missed you. We have not been seeing you. And don't feel sad. There's nothing that has happened. You're our son. We love you. We love the way you do things. Just come back here and stay with us. Other people may think they have punished you, but for us, you are our son. You have been here. You have impacted so much on our lives. We are happy to have you back. And I came here with my wife and children. We have since settled. And from here, we are shaking the country, and we'll continue to do so.
Okay, and how often do you get to interact with your fellow villagers, if I may use that word?
I have a fireplace behind here where every evening I sit there with the villagers to roast meat and to catch up with the village gossip. You know, who was married to who and who been married by so and so, who is working where, who is doing well in business, who has stolen whose farm produce. You know, village gossip is very interesting because one is not stressful. It's actually very therapeutic. It's just a way of entertainment. So what I do that every evening when I'm here, I sit with between 10 to 15 of my villagers in turns, so that maybe in 6 months I've sat with the whole village. And I have people who help me to decide who will come, and I sit with them here every evening after I see my visitors. I normally have busy days, I have many visitors from all over the country, but after 6 p.m. I open the home to the villagers and they come to sit with me, and again breakfast I take with them. I walk around in the village. I also visit the ones who are very elderly, who are not able to come and see me. I have an auntie of mine who is like 2 kilometers, 6 kilometers from here. I normally walk to her place to go and see her. I walk back. I like walking around in the village. But I'm very happy that in the last 6-7 months, I've really caught up with the villagers, and I get to know where they are, where their children, their grandchildren, where they are working. They make telephone call. When they come, I call their children who are abroad. We talk, and I'm so well informed about this village now and my people here whom I've known all my life. And this thing has given me back my life. In fact, if there's one thing this hounding me out of office has done, it has given me back my life, who I am.
And from the way you're describing it, actually it feels so wholesome compared to the chaotic life of the capital city.
The Nairobi is chaotic, Kenya is chaotic, is stressful, problem. This is peaceful. I've never known such peace. And this is the edge of the Mount Kenya forest. And from here, I look at the mountain in the morning. I wake up in the morning to look at Mount Kenya. I've never found such peace. I spend also a lot of time with my wife. We are now good companions. Since I married her, we have been busy. We have never spent quality time all our lives. I can tell you for the last 6 months, I've really, really enjoyed very good company and companionship. I've understood her much more. She have understood me much more. I also spend time with my children as they are growing up. They are teenagers. I have time to talk to them. My cousins, they come here. I go to visit them. Oh, I'm having a time of my life.
Perfect.
I don't know, if I was still in office for so many other years, whether this opportunity would ever have arisen. As the English say, I am actually making lemonade out of lemon. And that's what you do in life. You make the best out of any situation. Many people, my relatives and probably my friends around here, thought that this is a very bad thing. But I've turned it around to be a good thing, that I have time for my wife, for my children, for my cousins, for my relatives, for my friends, for the villagers. And I really enjoy. Like now, I have to go back to Nairobi tomorrow. I am not very happy. I'm not looking forward. I wish I would stay here for another week, but I'm busy. There are certain things I must do in Nairobi. But I wish I could spend more time here, listen to the birds singing in the morning. And by the way, here in the morning at around 6:30, the elephants are all over, coming from the farms, going back to the forest. It's a wonderful place for one to spend his life, and God being gracious to me and giving me long life when I'm through with public service. I would like to retire here. This is a good place to retire.
Okay.
And spend nice time with people and good air. I trust you must be feeling the freshness.
I'm enjoying it actually.
Of the air.
It's really beautiful.
There's no pollution, absolutely none.
Yeah.
The whizzing breeze from the forest, the fresh grass. Like when they are cutting this grass, the smell, it's so captivating. You just want to sit here as they are cutting the grass and smell fresh grass. This is nature at its best. I'm really enjoying myself.
Okay. And looking back, during that moment of loss around the impeachment period, what lesson did you learn, not as a politician, but as a man from Wamunyoro?
Well, that in greatness, there are many friends. But in difficult times, family is very important. My family has been very instrumental in supporting me in difficult times. When I was being hounded out of office by the president and the entire state machinery, and there was so much atrocity, but my immediate family was there for me. Again, the villagers here, they were very encouraging, and I found that in all difficult situations, home. That is why even when I was deputy president, I was always here. One of the accusations that was made against me is that I spent a lot of time in Mulima with my people. And today, if I didn't do that, where would I have gone to? after I was thrown out of office. If that office had gotten into my head, and I assume that I don't come from somewhere, or I don't know my people, or I have no time for them, when I was thrown out, where would I have gone back to? Luckily for me, even when I was in that high office, I stayed with the villagers. So they were very happy to welcome me home and make me feel very, very comfortable, because even when I was in that high office, I had time for them. I spent time, I was here listening to them and addressing their problems in whichever way I could. And therefore, they are very grateful that even in my moments of glory, when I was in a very powerful office, I never ignored them. I was never arrogant to them. I had time for them. So when things didn't work out and I was thrown out of office, I had somewhere to go.
It was
and
easy
I
for you
found
to
very
come back
welcoming
home.
people. Yeah, I found people who were very welcoming. And that is the way to go. And because there's a God of a second chance. When God sorts out all these things and we get back to office, as we will shortly, I will never leave the village. I will never forget the village. I will never be arrogant to my kinsmen. I'll never behave arrogantly towards my people. I'll hold them dear. I'll stay with them. I'll stay near them. I'll love them. I'll cherish them. I'll spend time with them, because it's a wise thing to do. Mine is the most practical lesson. That's why you should never be arrogant to your kinsmen and your people, because other people may embrace you when you are up there, but when you are down, they abandon you. Not the family, not the villagers. I must invest in the village. I must stay here in the village. And that is why I even encourage my children to invest here in Nyeri. I've told them, home is home. Stay around here, hang around the village, spend time with the villagers. These are your people. Again, in the lessons of betrayal, because these are difficult lessons that we have learned. People we trusted, betrayed us in a very bad way. We have now learned whom to trust. You must be very, very, very careful to bring people into your private life, to bring people into your secrets, to bring people in what you believe in. You must be very, very, very careful. You must take time to employ a personal assistant. Is somebody you must have known for a very, very long time. Their character, their integrity, their behavior. I made so many mistakes in high office. People who were talking nicely to me, I brought them into my life and allowed them into my inner space. And they are the ones who are bought to betray me. I'm now a very wise person. I see these are great lessons, and I thank God that some of these things happen because I look at life differently. I am a very, very careful person and extremely cautious on who I get near me and who I share, what is in my heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Mheshimiwa, coming back to Wamunyoro, did you ever think that that name is going to make headlines and Mount Kenya will listen to you again?
I did know that Wamunyoro will attract the attention and the significance that it has. But I knew that Rigathi Gachagua would not fade away. He wouldn't. Because Rigathi Gachagua is a godly man. He's a man who believes in God. He's a man who prays hard. And he's a man who has not wronged anybody. He's just a victim of viciousness and betrayal. I knew Rigathi Gachagua would rise again. But I didn't know that in his rising, Wamunyoro would shoot to national fame. But I am not surprised because great leadership has been crafted in this very home. The late Davidson Kuguru, who was a member of parliament for Madeira for 4 terms, his politics, his leadership was crafted in this home. My late parents were his great supporters. I was a young person and he used to come here, and it's from here that his leadership was anchored. The late Derito Gachagua the late governor of Nyeri was my brother, elder brother. His politics to become the member of parliament for Madeira were crafted in his home. His bid for gubernatorial bid in 2013, I'm the one who did it from here. All delegations were done here, all the strategies were done here. The meetings were done under this very tree here.
What is it? We're going to talk about this tree later.
President Uhuru Kenyatta, I was his personal assistant in the year 2000, 2001, all the way to 2006. His politics, his bid, when he ran in 2002, we did it here. The decision that Uhuru Kenyatta should abandon the opposition and join President Mwai Kibaki, that decision was arrived under this tree.
In 202?
No, in 2006. When he lost to Mwai Kibaki in 2003 and he was the leader of official opposition. It is this very home, Wamunyoro, under this tree, that we sat here, great people, elders, and we made a decision that Uhuru Kenyatta should not continue opposing Mwai Kibaki, but should join Mwai Kibaki and support him. And one day he would also be president. It was done here in this Wamunyoro. William Ruto, who hounded me out of office and said I should go back to Wamunyoro, has been to this home 3 times. His presidential strategy for the mountain was crafted here in Wamunyoro. He came here, you should have seen him, how humble he was, to me, to help him, to be president. He came here 3 times. Pastor Dorcas here have cooked for him. Many times he has eaten in this home. He has been here. I have called the villagers here to come and listen to him. And when he was here, and I had 10,000 people here to welcome him, and they told him, now that you have come here, you go, we'll make you president. The next time you come back here, we want to see you in Sagana State Lodge. You don't even have to come back to Wamunyoro. His leadership was birthed here. The whole Mount Kenya campaign that gave him 47% of the vote that made him president. The strategy, the meetings, the arrangements were done here in Wamunyoro. Again, we are here in Wamunyoro the other day. Kalonzo Musyoka was here, Martha Karua was here, Eugene Wamalwa was here, Fred Matiang'i was here, everybody was here. Again, the incoming administration has been crafted here. And these meetings you see me having here under this tree, they are not about maize and beans. They are not about my cows. They are not about my land. They are not about marriage.
What is it about?
It's about forming the next government. All those meetings you see here, they are very serious meetings. Very serious meetings under this tree. And this tree is blessed. Anything discussed and planned under this tree will come to fruition. And I can tell you, significantly, because anything that we have done here, Davidson Kogoro, we did his politics here, he succeeded. Derito Gachagua, we did his politics here, he succeeded. Mutahi Kagwe, when he wanted to become the senator of Nyeri, we did his politics here, he succeeded. Uhuru Kenyatta, we did his politics here, he became president. William Ruto, now, who is attacking us every day and calling us tribalists and villagers, we organize his politics from here. I want to assure you, you can take this to the bank. All the arrangements that are being done here in Wamunyoro under this tree will come to fruition. And the team that I'm working with will form the next government.
How old is this tree?
This tree, if I remember well, we must have done this tree in 1983. 1983 is when I did this compound, when I had just finished Form 6, waiting to go to the university. I did this tree and another that I painfully uprooted to give room to the construction of this house. It was a very painful decision. I had to go away when it was being removed, but my late mother decided that my house should be where it is, and we had to do away with that tree. But this one, we let it remain, and it has come to serve us well. It has come to serve us well.
Clearly,
Very serious decisions are made here. Very, very good strategies are done under this tree. And you tell me, I'll invite you to come under this tree in another 2.5 years. And you tell me.
Okay. I would love to have that conversation with you later.
I'll invite you. Yeah.
And right behind me, there is the I Love Wamunyoro signage.
Yes.
What is the reason behind it?
What has happened is that Wamunyoro, for whatever it is worth, has become the symbol of the Mount Kenya region identity. Anybody who is unhappy that we are being called a tribalist feels that Wamunyoro represents our pride as a people. Again, it's a symbol of resilience and defiance. And if I may let you know is that next year is the Mount Kenya forest. It is where our forefather, my mother, my father were in this forest fighting the British colonialists. The people around here cannot allow dominance and persecution. They are essentially freedom fighters and descendants of the freedom fighters. I am a descendant of the freedom fighters. We are quite rebellious to intimidation, to harassment, and to be dominated. And Wamunyoro now is a symbol of that defiance against this administration. And because people feel oppressed, people feel demeaned, people feel misused, and they must have a certain identity as a symbol of that defiance and resilience. So it is identity, defiance, and resilience. And that is why people troop here. And they want photographs. And especially people who are looking for positions, MCAs, and MPs, senators, governors, they are being told, okay, fine, we want to consider to elect you as our leader, but we want to see you in Wamunyoro, because that's where our heart is. We want to be sure that you cannot betray this community. And the only way we can know is if you go and meet our son, whom we trust as a defender of our community interests. And therefore, they come here and they take photographs. So what has happened is that people now started doing Photoshop. They don't even come here. They look for my photo, and they do some Photoshop. They go and show the people.
Okay.
Because that is what the people are demanding. So after discussing with the leaders, they say that we come up with this sign so that people can really see. You know, they can see, they want to see this tree, they want to see that fence, they want to see that sign. That is why we have done it. Again, I have done one outside.
Yeah.
Why I did that one outside is that, you know, hundreds of people now are coming from all over to see Wamunyoro village. And they want a souvenir, something to go home with. And because I'm not here most of the time, they are not allowed to come inside the compound to take photographs. So after discussing with the local elders, they instructed me to put our Wamunyoro sign there, so that even from the roadside, people can take photographs with that sign, I Love Wamunyoro, and then they can go and they are happy. In fact, some people who came from Kiambu and elderly people, and they had a challenge because there is a road and there is no washroom, there is nothing. And the children who brought them had a very difficult time on how to help them. They are elderly people, but they wanted to go to Wamunyoro. And those people looked for me and they advised me, and I've discussed with the elders that I'm going to cut a small space of land at the corner so that we put a small canteen and we put some washrooms, and so that when people come to see Wamunyoro, even if I'm not there, when I'm there, I open for them. They come, they take photographs, they go. But when I'm not there, and the people who take care of this compound feel that they don't want to allow people when I'm not there, we are going to get a small corner on the farm. It's a small farm, but we'll get somewhere. We put a small canteen where people can take some tea, some bread, some mandazi, and we put some washroom for ladies and gents so that the people who come here, they want to see Wamunyoro, they can be able to we ease their coming here so that they don't get in an awkward position. Yeah.
And Mheshimiwa, are you a kingmaker or a king in waiting?
Well, I don't know. We leave that to God. Kings are made by God, so that one I cannot say. A kingmaker I can be, because that is a decision that I can make. Yeah. Whether I'll be a kingmaker or king, we leave it to the Almighty God. God is gracious. I've been a very prayerful person. I've been good to people. I've taken care of widows. I've educated orphans, and God is very kind to me. I can see the kind of favor that I enjoy among Kenyans. It's not me. It's not my effort. It's God's favor, and God will give me a second chance in whatever capacity. Yeah. And whatever God decides for me, I will take it with the grace and appreciation. Yeah.
And back to the village, because that's why we are here for this interview. What has this village given you that the capital has not?
Peace of mind. I am a very peaceful person. I sleep very well when I'm here. 10 hours, 12 hours of good sleep, very sound sleep. A lot of love around me from the villagers. Again, I enjoy the environment, the freshness of the air and the scenes, especially looking at Mount Kenya in the morning. At its best, when I wake up, I look at the mountain. I'm very peaceful. Again, I take a lot of time here to pray and meditate, and I've not known peace for a very long time. I've not enjoyed my life in the way I'm doing today. I come here, and it's very, very therapeutic. It's very, very, very therapeutic. And I wish I could spend more time here. But of course, because of national duties, I need to serve my country. I need to be in the capital city. I need to travel around the country. But I'll try to the extent possible to spend more time here. In fact, after the launch of our party on 4th June, I intend to take a 10-day break. And I intend to come here to Wamunyoro and just hang around and have a nice time. Yeah. And
do you feel becoming the very kind of leader that we've seen you challenge? And by that I mean President William Ruto.
I am a very humble person. Sometimes people think I'm a very fiery person, and probably on the TV because of the fiery speeches. People sometimes think I'm a very, tough-skinned person. I'm a very soft guy. I'm like a tortoise. A tortoise has a very hard shell, but beneath is a very soft animal. That's who I am. I'm just a simple guy, born here in the village, an ordinary person. That's why I've settled back in the village so quickly. I mean, the transformation is not many people who are able to transit the way I have, from deputy president back to a village with ease, because I'm such a person. I'm a simple person. One, I can never be vicious. I am not faithful, and I am not evil. I am a good soul, and I am very loving, I'm very accommodating, and I'm very soft. And as I said yesterday, my whole leadership DNA, the whole leadership ecosystem around me is about the people, listening to the people, being kind to them, listening to them, understanding them, and aligning to their aspirations.
Okay.
And that is why I can never be a vicious leader. Yeah, because I will remain who I am. And many people who have the benefit to know me one-to-one will testify to what kind of person I am. From public utterances, from speeches, from the TV, people probably have a different picture of whom I am. Yeah, but those who have had the benefit and the opportunity to interact with me closely know that I'm that kind of a person. And I'm sure Kenyans, as we go on, will get to know me much better, understand me much better, appreciate who I am, and in the fullness of time, Rigathi Gachagua will be well understood.
And as a son of Wamunyoro, what are the few things that you will want the children of this village to learn from your story and your journey?
As a son of this village, what I would like to bequeath my village mates is the virtues of patience, resilience, honesty, and hard work. There's no shortcut to hard work. The villagers will tell you about my life. I was just an ordinary boy, but I was hard working, you know. I would work in the farms during holidays. I would get to know where people are doing communal work and go there and start a small kiosk to sell tea and bread at a profit. And with the profit, I would grow my business. The village here is a mist in my journey of transformation in terms of the business acumen. I started as a young boy, you know, to sell tea and bread to my fellow villagers. And it's something that I would like people here to learn. Again, I've really impressed upon my villagers here to be truthful, just to speak the truth, you know. Like when I was here as a member of parliament, as a deputy president, I would get 1 or 2 positions for some young people. I would call them here and I ask them to be truthful and tell me who deserves the job. I say, I have only 2 positions. You are here more than 300. Be truthful. From you young people, knowing your homes and your parents, which home really needs this job? Initially it was difficult. They would all scrabble for the positions. But with the time, they learned from me to be truthful. And I can tell you, anybody I have assisted in this village is very deserving. And I always do it by consensus. I have never given any position for employment to anybody myself. I always call the villagers here. I say, I have an opportunity of 2 or 3 people of this qualification. Please, can you discuss among yourselves? I've given you 2 hours as you take tea and bread. I am in the house watching TV. I'll come back after 2 hours. Please give me the people. And they would give me the best. And I'm so happy that all the people that I've helped in this village to get employment, they have not let me down. They have performed very well. Of course, I'm very saddened that one of our very gracious ladies in this village, she's called Jerry Wangado. I had picked her to be a director at Kenya Pipeline Company. She was removed the other day because of coming from Wamunyoro. You know, and she was here assisting many people. And she has been such an inspiring figure in this village, because I assisted her because I know her and her heart to help the villagers. So anytime I helped somebody here, I would say, I've helped you. I also want you to help others. So she has been helping people here. So here in Wamunyoro, we have lost 2 jobs, mine and for Jerry Ngado was a director at Kenya Pipeline. But of course, I told her not to get worried. There's a God of a second chance. Just 2 years, we'll be back. And she'll have an opportunity again to serve and be useful to the villagers here. Yeah.
And Mheshimiwa, people know you by different names, especially the Gen Zs. Some call you Rigiji, others call you Wamunyoro. But when history writes your name, what name would you want it to give you?
I don't know. You know, these names, it depends on who is looking at it.
There's also the truthful man.
Yeah, see, the Gen Z call me Rigiji. I was given that name by Ivy Chelimo. It's a young girl I had employed in my office again when I was thrown out of office. She was also thrown out. It's so unfortunate that such young people had to suffer because I did not be in office. The young people call me as Rigiji. And you know, the Gen Z, they are my people. And you remember even when the president came handle them and said they are criminals after the protests of June 25. I called a press conference in Mombasa and I said, these are my sons and daughters. And the Gen Z, they love me because I am simple. I also understand them and I appreciate them. Now, Wamunyoro now is that Ruto and his people thought it's a bad thing. When I came here, they thought Wamunyoro sounds a bad name, Nini, but people embraced it. Everybody says Wamunyoro party. Until yesterday, when I gave a name to my party, people were saying we are in the Wamunyoro party. So then there are those who know I'm a truthful man. So I want Kenyans to refer to me depending on the way they perceive me. Let the Gen Z continue calling me Rigiji. Let people who love truth continue calling me the truthful man. Let those who want a symbol of nationalism, resilience and defiance continue calling me Wamunyoro. And let the ones who want to refer to me officially call me Rigathi Gachagua. Let the people of my age call me Baba Kevin. Let everybody use a name that you feel comfortable. But I am the same person, but known by many different names. It speaks volume about my divergent outreach to many people. Many people see me differently. But it's all very positive, and I'm very happy about it.
It feels like the city has moved to Wamunyoro, and it is pretty busy to host. But at the same time, what you must realize, my husband has been in the public life for the longest I've known him. Even when I met him in the university, he was a chairman for DUSA. And so he was still, even when you went to visit him, you had students around him. There was a cast which he was also running at that time. And I've not known when he doesn't have people around. So seeing people coming here, and we also love them because for someone to visit you is because they love you. The other time when we were in office, there was quite a lot, because we believe that when you are given a position or when you have an office, you are called to service. It is about servanthood. It is about serving the people. And therefore we were busy serving the public, and some of our things were a little bit, forgotten. Like I couldn't come and spend like the 4 hours I spent here with my cows. That's how I know them by name. Yeah.
And what has been your biggest lesson so far?
I think my husband has gone through quite a number of things like this, and maybe this was the heaviest one, emotionally and psychologically, and it has taken a toll on us, because when you are working and then there are issues that develop and you cannot finish. We are used to when you start the race and finish, and we are workers, both His Excellency, myself, and also we have children. And some of the things they ask, when we started this journey, we had told you we didn't like this guy, we didn't trust him. You are the ones who put us there. And of course, being also a pastor, I was in the front line, being together, and we walk together. As you have seen, not just a housewife. I've gone to school. Not many people, they just think that the wives of politicians are just housewives, and they just dismiss them as so, and they expect them not to work. If you look at the social media, some will ask you, oh, you are not supposed to be here, you are not supposed to be behaving like this. What they forget is that I went to school, I went to the university, I'm a professional banker. I have been with him, I saw him when he was a DO. He was in the office, he was a personal assistant to Professor Philip Mbithi. And we are talking about the 1990s. So politics for His Excellency did not start now. Administration did not start now. He has been in administration and in politics the longest I know. The other thing that people have assumed is that he's many times they speak, and I wonder who they are speaking about. He's a political scientist, and therefore when he's moving around and doing all these things, it's been a journey. So and because he's one person, when he believes in something, he will not leave it, he will go to the end. I remember when he was a personal assistant to Mbili, he used to work very late, and he was a young man then. And he was noticed by the then President Daniel Arap Moi, and he used to call him, and and then he had issues with his PCs, and he had DCs and all that, because at that time he was a cadet and a DO, and you find that when you are working, I don't know how it is in this world that the people who are hard workers, they seem to go up against the tide.
And we can't end this interview without talking about your passion for the boy child and the fight against alcohol and substance abuse in the country. Is it something that we will continue seeing from you? And what is your future plan?
I have not stopped. I was doing before I went to office. It's just like, it's a calling. You know, a calling is something that is in you. It's a passion and everything. One, I believe in the boy child, and I believe that they should have equal rights with the girl child, and they should be able to be served their justice. For the longest, we have forgotten the boy child, who is a seed carrier. I don't think it would be wise for any community or any society to ignore the boy children in their society, because they are the seed carriers. I would just ask you, if for instance you went to this farm and it is very fertile and you dug it and you had no seed, it means that you end up with no harvest. And it is the same with the society. These boy children who are there, and according to God's divine order and plan, they are supposed to be the head of households. They are supposed to be fathers. They are supposed to be leaders. How can they lead from the gutter? How can they lead in those frustrations? The many whom I have met when we have been doing this program, the problem has been is that many, they were brought up not like the girl child. No love, no nothing, no care, no mentorship. And so when they grow up, because they are supposed to be leaders, they are supposed to be fathers, they want to come up as leaders, and they are in frustration because even like now, if you go out, it starts to rain, you'll see it is you, everyone will give an umbrella. They will leave these ones, they will know what to do. They have not been taught even to be in contact with their emotions. At the end of the journey, when they want to be husbands, the wives want them to love. They don't know. So there is a lot that we are trying to do in the boy child. I have not stopped. Right now, I have about 50 who are doing ICT. We have sponsored them. And the others who are here in Tibet, about another 40 in Abadea's Technical College. And the ones that we had before when we came out of office, we continued to pay for their skilling and also for their rehabilitation, and most of them are working now. The beauty about men is that once they get what they want and you guide them and they get their identity back, there is no stopping. When they make a decision, oh, I love them.
Legally, until the point where there's a final decision by the highest court in the land upholding his impeachment, legally, he is able to be cleared to run for office, for the presidency in that perspective. I do think that when the impeachment happened and the government felt that now they were sending him to the village, they said he's a villager, they relegated him to Wamunyoro, but Wamunyoro has become a brand. It has become a feature in even international media outlets. It's now shaping the geopolitics of this nation. And I do think that I'd want to see more of him in the future at the top seat, because like I've said, I do admire his core quality of just being very direct and very upfront with people, and just the truthful man himself. You know, I think is something that we'd want to see. I'd want to see how a truthful leader would lead a nation.
I was watching the proceedings of the National Assembly and the Senate, and to be sincere, there was injustice being met to the former deputy president, and the pressure I had from my people, I decided I have to act, not just speaking and crying with my people, and I decided to get an advocate, and I went to Kirogaro Court, and I launched a petition, E013, where we got orders stopping Kindiki's swearing in for 2 weeks. But unfortunately at the High Court, the bench that was constituted by the DCJ, who didn't have the mandate to do so, they prayed along that court order. They sat on a weekend, and my court orders were quashed, and they sworn in Kindiki the following week. Yeah, but we were doing this for my people, and we wanted Rigiji to get the justice it deserved. You've seen there's a petition to do with the DCJ, and we are hopeful in the coming weeks, after we go back to the courts again, we are going to confirm the reason why they did the injustice to Rigiji. So I want to confirm this was a good move. We have faith in our justice system, and I'm sure the bench that is coming is going to listen to us, listen to my advocates, and give us, the people of Kenya, what we deserve.